Good evening, everyone. So I'm Rashmi, and we are from Batch 3. Our guide is Sushmaja ma'am, and our title is Dynamic Auto Selection and Auto Tuning of Machine Learning Models for Cloud Network Analytics. Next slide. Yeah. Defining the problem. So cloud platforms are empowering new complex business models are currently coordinating more global integration networks than many researchers and analysts they have predicted. Cloud networking monitoring environments produce and store huge amount of data, so that this huge data should be processed, which even use it to provide important insights into cloud network behavior at both administrative and user level, especially in terms of its interaction with its application performance, security, and resilience. So key issue is that distributed learning with complex model selection. And here one approach is that time-dependent model parameter tuning. So here we use ensemble machine learning. Use it to separate data subsets which are taken from training set, and then each training set is used to train different classifier. Next slide. Coming to the abstract, your cloud networking monitoring data is dynamic and distributed everywhere. So signals to monitor the cloud can appear and disappear or change their importance and the clarity over time. So these machine learning models have to be tuned to a particular given data set such that they can therefore quickly become inadequate. So a model might be highly accurate at particular a point of time, but it might lose its accuracy even in the gradually in the later time due to its changes in the input data, the features or the characteristics. So distributed learning with dynamic model selection is therefore often required. So the poorly performing models will be put on the standby where new models are brought in. Next slide. So here we propose the dynamic automatic model selection and tuning using unsupervised learning, and we use unsupervised learning to better explore the data set so that we get a target supervised learning model in an automated fashion. So here we use cloud network security data sets. Next slide. Introduction. The cloud networks will be monitored using signals, as I showed earlier. So to allocate proper resources. So their resource allocating decision will be taken using machine learning algorithms such as k-nearest neighbors, naive-Bayes, random forest, decision trees, boosting, gradient boosting, etc. But this algorithm accuracy may change due to changes in availability or conditions or unavailability of signal. And even sometimes this training model, which are generated on some particular signal data, will give higher prediction accuracy, and sometimes it will give less accuracy. So if less accuracy model is chosen for prediction, then it may not give the corrected predicted value. Here we use auto selection and auto tuning models on various algorithms. So that generated X will be voted between these algorithms to the higher accuracy model. Coming to the domain, here we used machine learning. So as we know that it's a branch of computer science subset of artificial intelligence with data and algorithms will continuously improve the training model to achieve the higher quality output predictions. Next slide. And coming to the existing system, an automated tuning of the SVM support vector classifier, the pattern recognition has shown lesser accuracy and as well as the more deviation. So the disadvantages were lower accuracy and as well as the lower ability to learn. Next slide. Proposed model, we use ensemble machine learning technique or heterogeneous Bayes learners, like learners of different machine learning types, and we use weighted voting to generate a single prediction from the output of individual learners. Next slide. So advantages were accuracy and superior of the dynamic model selection. Next slide.
I am going to explain system architecture. The figure shows architecture for auto selection and auto tuning. Firstly, we have dataset, which is split into two sets, testing data and training dataset. Here, the dataset is trained. During prediction, unsupervised machine learning identifies the cluster numbers for the testing data sample. Then, All the classification models act on this data sample and predict its label. The collection of these predicted labels are sent to the dynamic model selection and tuning module. It has a submodule called voter, which has the ML ranking. Based on the ranking, the voting weights are applied to such label collections, and a single value is generated as the final predicted label for the testing data sample. In order to improve the model quality, ML status, that is machine learning status, used as a model history log for all models. The machine learning accuracy log stores true or false for the voting decisions that agree or disagree with a particular model prediction. This set is incremented at each testing sample. The parameter test stores the parameter values of each model, while the status set stores the active or inactive state of the model. These ML status help in scaling the number of machine learning models. Parameter tuning is automated according to the figure. Next.
Next slide is the input where we have taken the data set, which is UNSW, is just the name of a data set. And it also has different parameters such as source IP address, source port number, destination IP address, destination port number. They were the parameters. So here we used the data set, which even contains the information about the HTTP request attacks and non-attack signatures. And this data set will be passed so that this application will monitor and generate the training model and to predict new request contains attack signatures or non-attack signatures. Next slide. Result. In the result, we get the final graph. So as we see, in the x-axis, it gives the algorithm name. In the y-axis, it gives the accuracy score. So random forest and gradient boosting has shown higher accuracy. Next slide. Yep. Coming to the working modules, it has three modules: data preprocessing, where we take the data set from the data repository, which is Kaggle. When we upload the data set, the next step will be the train and test data, where we split the data set into train and test. We train the data set and we fit the model into the algorithm, and we use the accuracy score, and then we compare them with the actual and the predicted, and then we analyze it. Coming to the libraries we use NumPy, which is used for array processing packaging tool, or you can use it for numerical Python. And next is Pandas, which is used for data manipulation, analysis, etc. And Matplotlib, which is used as a plotting library to generate plots, histograms, bar charts, scatter plots, etc. And the next is Scikit-learn, used for unsupervised algorithm interface. And we use Keras and TensorFlow for math library. And then pkinter, it's a GUI component. Next slide. Coming to the process step, as we said earlier, test and train data set. First, we give the data set, and we divide it into 70s to 30. 70 is the training day, and 30 is the testing set. So we have divided it according to that. So next step, next slide. So before that, we have used two algorithms, which were gradient, I would like to explain gradient boosting and random forest, as it has shown the higher accuracy. Coming to the gradient boosting, so it's gradient boosting is nothing but a combination of gradient descent and a boosting algorithm. So at each stage, it introduces a weak learner to compensate the shortcomings of the existing weak learner. So first, it can be explained with the AdaBoost algorithm. So AdaBoost algorithm will begin by training a decision tree in each observation, and is assigned to a particular equal weight. After evaluating the first tree, we increase the weights of those observations which are difficult to classify, and then lower the weights for those which are easy to classify. Second tree is therefore grown on this weighted data. So Here the idea is to improve the predictions. So a new model is therefore tree1 plus tree2, and then we compute the classification error from this. So to T3 ensemble model and grow a third tree to predict the revised residuals. So we repeat this process for a specified number of iterations. So subsequent trees will help to classify the observations which are not well classified by the previous trees. The prediction of final ensemble model is therefore the weighted sum of the predictions which are made by the previous tree model. The major difference between AdaBoost and gradient boost algorithm is that how the two algorithms identify the shortcomings of the weak learners. And coming to the random forest algorithm, it uses bootstrapping and bagging techniques, both techniques. Before that, we'll know what are the steps in them. Firstly, random forest, it takes n number of random records, and then the data set having will have k number of records. So individual decision trees are constructed from each and every sample. Then each decision tree will generate an output. So that final output is considered based on the majority voting or the averaging for the classification and as well as the regression. And it uses divide and conquer principle where it does row sampling and feature sampling. So from that data set, after row sampling and feature sampling, it divides into various decision trees, and at the last, it merges them with the help of the majority vote. So it does divide and conquer strategy. Finally, it gets the higher prediction. And as I told you, we use two types of methods in this, which is bagging and boosting. Bagging, it creates a different training subset from the sample training data with replacement. The final, the output which is produced will be based on the major voting. Boosting, it combines weaker learners into stronger learners by creating sequential models, so such that the final model will be having the highest accuracy. Next slide. In the step 3, which is the preparing step where we do encoding. So here label encoding is done, where the labels into those numerical structure in order to change the machine structure such that machine learning calculations will be able to choose in a superior manner. And this is how it works. Next slide. Finally, in the output screen, as you can see, we have used UNSW dataset, which contains source code, address, attacks, and non-attacks. And as we can see in the buttons, run decision tree, gradient boosting. After uploading the dataset, you run each and every algorithm and check which has shown the higher accuracy. And in the third picture, as you can see, it trains and tests, where it divides the records into training and test data. You can see the number over here, and then it gives a clear picture of attacks found, like normal packets, attacks like fuzzer attacks, DOS attacks, backdoor attacks, generic attacks. And then in the fourth picture, it has shown the decision tree prediction results. It has shown 84%. Next slide. In the next slide, you can see the gradient boosting, which has given 100% accuracy, and next KNN, which has shown 82% accuracy. And in the third, it has shown 78%, and Knifebase has shown 70% accuracy. Next slide. Yeah, random forest even has shown 100% as the gradient boosting. Stochastic has shown 61%. And yeah, in the final graph, you can see that the random forest and the gradient boosting has shown 100% accuracy. So conclusion, machine learning models, supervised and unsupervised, have been integrated and applied to a data set of the curve prediction records. So multiple models are developed to simulate each and every type of security threat in order to gain a greater precision over our function. So in comparison to various supervised models, it has shown higher accuracy. So multiple models will be created for predicting each and every type of the security attack. Thank you.